We're out here tonight at Starbucks in Florida City with Mr. Kim Hill. Mr. Kim Hill, how are you doing tonight, sir?
Doing all right, my brother. Peace and love.
Amen, brother. Hey, thanks for coming out here and meeting me, Mr. Hill. I know we want to talk about a lot of things that are going on in the city right now. We got a big election coming up. You were actually candidate for office. You want to talk to us a little bit about that?
Well, I was a candidate for office, but basically it was all about promoting policies. Politics is all about policies. It's not about the individuals. This upcoming election, you'll see you have a group of individuals that will be running. However, the main policy, especially on the southwest side, is the body camera. And I found that what was being very interesting, my opponent, Bobby Rea, has just as much interest in the body camera. So we're going to form a symbiotic relationship with Bobby Rea and try to carry him on to victory. I'm looking for everybody on the southwest side. Remember that my campaign was just the beginning. Now what we're going to do, this is coming into full fruition. We have to be able to take the ball in the end zone right now. So I'm calling on the southwest side to go out there and get behind Bobby Rea, and let's bring this thing home. Let's bring the body camera home. Remember, Edward Foster, one afternoon going to a store to go get dog bones, winds up dead. 4 years later, they haven't resolved that case. You got to remember the migrant workers being locked out, shackled to fences, being beaten up. Still, those cases have not been resolved. Zillions of other things have happened in the city of Homestead where we need a body camera. We're also looking at spending $2.7 million in attorney fees just on transparency issues. So it is fiscally sound for us to be able to do it, and it is essentially sound for people like a melanated skin to be able to get out here and rally behind Bobby Rea for the body cam.
Mr. Hill, I'm a big supporter and big fan of the body cams with you. And what I find is we need body cams, but I don't even like body cams. Let me explain this. The reason I say this is if there really is corruption, there's crookedness going on, and that body cam shows they did something wrong, it's going to get turned off, it's going to break, it's going to malfunction, they're going to accidentally delete the files when they meant to copy it. Somehow or another, you ain't going to get possession of that data. That's why I fought that we could record cops. And I recorded Chief Roll showing him committing a couple felonies, and what does he do? He goes and tries to have me arrested for wiretapping, cyber stalking for making YouTube videos. He thought he'd go after wiretap charges against me after that, and that didn't work out so well for him. But it shows, I think, how much we need accountability and how much certain forces inside the police department are fighting accountability, not just body cams. They try to have me thrown in prison for recording them myself. Last time when they arrested me in front of City Hall, I was recording it on my cell phone. One of the officers in deposition said his biggest concern was I was recording it, but then an officer was recording me on his cell phone. Think about that. When he has to hold his phone in a hand, how is that not a safety issue? You know what I'm saying? Versus having it clipped to his thing where if he needed to get to his gun. Anyway, I think we're both in complete agreement on the body cams.
Well, we know that the body camera is not the panacea. It's not the cure-all. It's just a step in the right direction. And we want to be able to continue to make those steps. And those steps in that process come into a full sprint towards justice for everybody.
I agree. And the funny thing is, everybody acts better when they're on camera. We see this across the board. I like to quote the Palo Alto study they did out in California, where they put body cams in their officers for a year, and I think it was they found a 60% reduction in use of force and an 80% reduction in reported complaints. So obviously, people are filing less frivolous complaints against the police officers, but then police officers are less likely to beat somebody for no reason at the same time. Like I said, I think it makes everybody behave better. And
oh yeah, this is groundbreaking material. Basically, everyone in the next 10 years will have body cameras. It's just a slow process in the city of Homestead. It's not really even about the body camera issue. It's about those people who actually presenting the body camera to the council.
I noticed, I watched you speaking at the council meeting last night. Let me apologize to you for the disrespect that was given to you by our city council, or Homestead City Council. I live in the Redlands, thank God. But I just thought it was really disrespectful. But one of the things I noticed is you had addressed Maldonado. Maldonado, apparently, Elvis Maldonado, councilman, is resigning to run for county commission in Miami-Dade. And you told him that body cams were coming there too, and he was going to have to take a stand at one point on body cams. You have anything else you'd like to add to that?
Well, in actuality, body cameras are in Miami-Dade County. You know, the incumbent that he's replacing, Dennis Moss, was one of the leading advocates for body cameras, and now Maldonado is going into Miami-Dade County. But the problem would be for him is, how is he going to address the people in Richmond Heights? How will he address the people in Goulds, Naranja, all these places that are heavily populated with African Americans? Then come back those other places that are heavily populated with Hispanics who've been having problems with police, with transparency with the police. So will these constituents come out and vote for him when he's been reluctant to be able to give us the body camera here in Homestead? When he sat there and basically been silent. So that's going to be a major issue. How will he address that? And how can he have other African Americans who are principled and basically looking out for the safety of their people feel comfortable with allowing him into that office? I think he's going to have a host of other candidates that will be running against him, so you will see that coming to the foray.
And I'm sure you'll probably be working with me to keep that in the foray next year during the county elections, to make sure that not only do we get accountability and start cleaning up things in Homestead, but that we keep accountability in Miami-Dade County as well.
Oh, most definitely. You know, we got to have an ever-pressing citizenry that go to meetings and be able to challenge our government. I say this, Mr. Maldonado, there are no permanent friends, no permanent enemies, but just a permanent interest. So anytime that you're ready to change your mind, anytime that you're ready to put body cameras on the tab in the city of Homestead, then we can give you a reevaluation. No permanent friends, no permanent enemies, just a permanent interest.
Well, Mr. Hill, I really appreciate you coming out here to meet with me tonight. We've been friends for a while. It's kind of funny, we're here at the Starbucks in Florida City, and I remember meeting you and Mr. Wamble out here, what was it, 4 years ago? Before 2 cycles ago. Anyway, I know you, like you said last night, you know, you're going to continue to fight, and when hell freezes over, we're going to fight on the ice. So, Mr. Hill, I know my readers, we appreciate your tenacity, and we appreciate you standing up for fighting for the rights of all Americans. We want to thank you again, sir. You have a good night, and God bless.
Hey, look at here, man. Like the carpenters used to say, we only just begun. Okay? We've only just begun. My only regret is I only got one fight to give to the struggle. Peace and love, people.
Hey, Mr. Hill, real quick. Yeah, you got one last thing you want to say to our viewers? You got any place they could follow you, or YouTube channel, or Facebook, or anything?
Well, you can come follow me at Kim Sloan Hill on Facebook. Just look me up. And then, once again, meet me down in City Hall. Meet me down in City Hall. That's where we're going to get it on. We will fight till hell freezes over. And when it freezes over, we're going to get out and fight on ice. That's one of my famous sayings. Peace and love.